Now live on the Plains.
Yeah, Chris, you know, I share some of the same sentiments as Chris Wrinkle. However, these Auburn fans here not taking a backseat on their Auburn Tigers. Auburn now 2-1 on the season and in desperate need of getting a spark. And the hope is that it comes from their quarterback, Shaun White, who will be starting this weekend. These Auburn fans weigh in.
It'll be a big test because if Shaun doesn't work out, I don't know what we're going to do.
From what I understand, he's got an arm, and I've heard rumors about him being compared to Drew Brees, but with the stronger arm. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can provide for us, for Auburn and the Auburn family tomorrow.
White's quarterbacks coach coined it the Brady effect. Coming up later in sports, we'll hear from Rod Bramlett, voice of the Auburn Tigers, who weighs in on what he has seen from Shaun White in fall camp as well as in the spring. Chris, back to you.
Out there live. And we really have no idea what to expect tomorrow against Mississippi State.
Auburn returns home this weekend, and there are plenty of fans to show out for it here in the RV lot. Now, a lot of question marks surrounding this team as they head into Week 4 against Mississippi State. Let's take you over to the Auburn Athletics Complex, where they had reverse Tiger Walk just a few minutes ago. Shaun White, now the starting quarterback for Auburn. This was announced earlier this week by Gus Malzahn after Jeremy Johnson was unable to spark this offense. Rod Bramlett, voice of the Tigers, gives his thoughts.
I remember back in the spring and even in the preseason practice them talking about, you know, Shaun's really pushing. I mean, Shaun's really pushed Jeremy. I mean, Shaun's a very competitive guy. So, you know, I don't think in terms of competitiveness and fire and all that, there's going to be a huge drop-off. It's just a matter of you going from a guy who's had snaps at this level to a guy who hasn't.
Another thing that Bramlett said that stood out to me, Shaun White plays with a chip on his shoulder as the kid that was always told you aren't good enough, and then he goes out there and proves everybody wrong. Certainly a lot to prove tomorrow, right, Chris?
Sisler live on the Plains. She can attest to that.
Chris, Auburn fans return home. The Auburn family here joining me, inviting me into their lovely tailgate on this Friday evening as they get ready to go against Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State and Auburn both looking for their first conference win of the season, but there are still so many question marks. But these Auburn fans think they might have a few answers.
They got their butts kicked. That's what happened, but hopefully they'll be able to do better.
They've only lost, what, one? So, I mean, there's not everybody doesn't go in national championship undefeated.
I think this team's going to be fine. We've got another quarterback coming in the picture. It's kind of a fresh start.
And David here is also calling Shaun White Drew Brees 2.0. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
As if the guy doesn't have enough pressure on his shoulder. Know where to start because the loss at LSU was that bad. Lauren Sisler live on the Plains, and you have to start with that defense, Lauren.
I might not be able to get up, but I'm down.
Yeah, Chris, we're now 3 games into this season, and Auburn fans like these guys around me want answers. They want to know why we aren't seeing much improvement from Will Muschamp's defense. He was supposed to resurrect this defense, right? Well, last week we didn't see that. They gave up 411 yards on the ground alone. Muschamp taking a lot of heat for this one on a particular play when LSU's Leonard Fournette ripped off a 71-yard run on the first play from the line of scrimmage last Saturday. Muschamp says that's not the identity we want our defense to have.
We'll continue to move forward and educate the young men on how we're going to do things around here. Quite frankly, we are changing the culture a little bit. You know, we got to practice better, we got to prepare better, we got to play better, and so that's what we plan on doing.
A point of emphasis this week at practice, finding that new identity without defensive end Carl Lawson, who is expected to be out for an extended period of time. Of course, finding that identity this week against Mississippi State and Dak Prescott, it's going to be a tall order, right, Chris?
Yeah, and Lauren Sisler, she's been hanging out with the fans in the RV lot all night. Lauren, what's going on?
Yeah, these fans are doing it right. There is no sleep for the weary here. Now, Auburn returns home to take on MSU, hoping to get their first SEC win of the season. Out to prove everybody their offense has not been very productive. Their defense not doing them any favors either, but they want to prove that they can win in the SEC West, and that's the beauty of football season. Now, defensively, right now, Auburn ranks at the bottom in most every statistical category on defense. Lack of effort came up several times during the LSU game, in which they gave up 485 total yards. The Tigers working to change their identity on defense, and it starts with putting your best 11 out on the field.
Will Muschamp's looking for 11 guys that are going to play hard all the time, his style of defense, And, you know, the impression I get, he's not afraid to shuffle things up. Will we see it this Saturday? I don't know. But I think for the Auburn defense, they just need to have something good happen. And that doesn't mean sacking the quarterback. It doesn't mean, you know, shutting somebody out. Just execute, make some plays, and get the confidence.
They go up against one of the league's best quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, the Dak attack. He got his first start here 2 years ago at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and since then has rolled up 713 yards and 5 touchdowns on the Tigers. He expects a similar look on defense.
The coach is going to just call plays. He really trusts his players to make plays. They're not going to do anything too difficult or throw any crazy looks at us. So I think we're going to have a good game plan ready to go for them.
Now, Auburn has given up more than 400 yards in the last 9 FBF games they played in, so they certainly hope to flip the script tomorrow. Chris?
Played it down to college football. Lauren Sisler back live on the Plains. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you, it really got a lot of people's attention this week when Gus Malzahn said Jeremy Johnson is out and Sean White is in, including these fans, everybody wanting to know just how good Sean White can be. Now, Jeremy Johnson, he got benched after 3 weeks. He wasn't able to prove himself in the backup role. He lost his own confidence. He lost his team confidence through 3 weeks of the football season. It was a tough decision for Gus Malzahn to make, but they said they needed a change.
And Sean White is a guy that has got a lot of reps. He's responded very well in practice and very well in scrimmages, and just feel like he needs a shot right now.
He throws the ball away. Every time I see him throw the ball, man, he's an accurate passer. He has that it factor, like Coach Malzahn says. He's a great leader. So I think he'll do a great job.
Now, Jeremy Johnson filling that backup role this week in practice. Gus Malzahn also said that Jonathan Wallace and Jason Smith could also fill that backup role if necessary. Now, before we leave here on the Plains tonight, I got the Stollgates here with us in the hayfields, and they want to give you guys a nice traditional War Eagle to say goodnight, and I'll get my little pom-pom out. Let's go. Ready? There you go, Chris.